I'm Sarah, this is Courtney. We're going to take you through the introduction to stability ball workout. We have around 11 to 12 exercises that we'll show you, give or take. And first we'll show them to you, and then we'll take you through a workout with all of those moves in it. So the first exercise we're doing is a squat. If you've done a squat before, you're shoulder width apart, and you're going to sit back into that imaginary chair. The ball is actually placed right in the lower portion of your back. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Good. If you're just starting, you don't have to go as low as Courtney is. She's advanced, so you would just go about halfway down from where she is, and then you'd bring yourself back up. No pressure in your toes. You're going to keep it really nice and light on your toes. You can lift them up if you want to, you don't have to, but really try to push through those heels. The second exercise is a lunge. One foot goes forward, one foot goes back. Courtney's ball is a little bit smaller. It's perfect size for her, so she's actually able to touch her heel against the wall, which is great. You don't have to. If you're shorter and you can only bring it back a little ways, that's fine. The goal here is to get your front knee and your back knee both to 90 degrees at the bottom. Again, as a beginner, you may only come down a few inches and then go back up. It's really, really nice to use the ball here because it keeps you in perfect alignment. Just make sure that that front knee does not lock out. You're inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. The third one is your plie squat. So your feet are out at about a 45-degree angle. You're nice and wide with those legs. You're squeezing your glutes to bring you up, pushing through your heels. Perfect. Good. All right, I'm going to grab some weights for Courtney. Shoulder press. Stand up. No, you're standing. Right?
Oh, when you have the ball against
yep.
the thing.
So you could do this one of two ways. You could have sat down and done a shoulder press as well. This one's nice if you have any lower back issues. It gives you nice support. Put your legs a little bit apart so you have a nice solid base. Good. You're going to push up and then bring it back down to about a 90-degree angle. If you don't have any shoulder problems and you want to work a little bit harder, you can come down lower, but be careful of those shoulder joints. Inhale down, exhale up. Tummy stays nice and tight to support that lower back. Knees are soft. Good. That's your shoulder press. Do you want to show from seated as well? Can you turn? There you go. Perfect. Then they can see from the front. Good. So that's your seated shoulder press. You want to make sure that your back isn't rounded too much. You want to support it with your core so you're nice and tall. Good. The next one is a row. So our floor is a little bit slippery, so we're going to use our feet against the wall so that we don't slip. The ball is directly underneath her abdomen, and you're going to feel pressure unless you really tighten up that core. So she's going to tighten up her core. She's going to make a straight line from her head all the way down through her spine and through her feet. Perfect. And she's pulling her elbows up, stopping her wrists from moving when her elbows stop, and she's just working that back. Good. Working the lats and the delts. Perfect. Good. The next one, she'll roll over and she'll actually do a chest press. So she'll sit on the ball first, roll out a little bit. I'll hand these to her. There are two ways to do this. You can bring it down like you're doing a push-up lying down, or you may also do a fly. So if you have lighter dumbbells, you can bring it out to a fly. Just make sure that you're not going past your shoulders. You don't want to go down too far. It's really hard on your shoulders. If you do that, that's perfect. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. This one you will also feel in your glutes, keeping the weight in your heels, squeezing your glutes. You'll notice Courtney's in a perfect tabletop position. Don't let your glutes drop down. You're gonna hold it nice and steady, nice and tight. Good. All right, so the next one we'll show you is the tricep extension. You have two options for this as well. Yep, so she's gonna do the seated one first, where she's just bringing her hands down back behind her head and pushing up. Notice her elbows do not move away from the front of her face. They stay there, and all she's doing is she's bending her elbows. The second one is she comes down And she's going to do a skull crusher, which means she holds her arms right in that same spot, again, only is bending at the elbows, bringing the dumbbells down by her forehead, and that's perfect form. Again, you get the double here because you work your glutes as well. And you can choose when we do the workout.
And you could do 1 or 2.
Yep, you can absolutely do 1 weight or 2 weights. It's a really good point. Perfect. Stationary or concentrated bicep curl is next. So you're going to bend over and bring your elbow into the inside of your leg, and your arm does not move except that you bring the hand up to your shoulder and then all the way back down. So there's no way not to work your bicep on that one. It's a really good one. If you don't want to do it where you're bent over, you can absolutely just sit on the ball and do bicep curls with both. Perfect. And you still work core just from trying to balance on that ball as well. Exhaling as she comes up, inhaling on the way down. All right. Push-up is next. So what she'll do is she'll kneel behind the ball and roll herself out. The most basic beginner for the push-up is keeping it directly under your hips. Your hands go wide. So when you do a plank, your hands are directly under your shoulders. I want you to put them out so that when you come down, there isn't as much pressure on your wrists and your elbows come down to 90 degrees. Good. Keep your belly nice and tight. As you progress, you would bring the ball back farther so your core works harder to balance. Same exact movement, except now she has to work a lot harder just trying to keep her balance on the ball. Perfect. Good. All right. Moving on to glutes and hamstrings. Courtney's going to lie down on the ball, or lie down on the mat. Nope, so your feet are going to be up on the ball for glutes. Yep. We'll do that one next.
Oh, yes. Maybe
So her,
on the side.
oh yeah. Her feet are up on the ball. She's going to lift her glutes up and then drive the ball in with her heels and then back out. Good. If this is too hard, leave your glutes down, put the ball out a little bit more, and then she's going to put pressure on the ball and just pull the ball in and then roll it back out. Perfect. Exhaling as she pulls forward, inhaling as she goes out. So as a combination, you can also just bring your glutes up, bring them down, roll it in, roll it out. Lots of different variations you can do with this. Just pick what feels comfortable for you. All right, so moving on to abs, what she's going to do, this is a really nice progression, is she keeps the ball in between her feet and then she transfers it to her hands and back to her feet. The key on this is keep your lower back down. Don't let it arch off the mat. And breathe. Never hold your breath. If this is too advanced, just do the upper body first. And you can just leave your lower down, or vice versa. You can also just do legs first, where you just literally try to tap the ball down and then bring it up. Perfect. One more is the crunch on the ball. You might want to show this one from the side. Perfect. So on this one, she's going to tilt her pelvis up a little bit before she starts, and then she's literally trying to lessen the gap between her rib cage and her pelvic bone, trying to make her abs shake as she comes up. She's going to hold it for a second, and then she's going to come back down. Good. So you want to make sure that you really dig in when you're doing these, and then she's going to release it. Good. Common misconception or mistake here is that people come up as far as they possibly can and they go as fast as they can, and that's not the case here. Less is more, so you have to make it really good and effective, and then you don't have to do as many, but you should definitely feel it more than if you're just using momentum to move you back and forth. All right, so those are our exercises. We'll take you through the workout. We're going to move away from the wall for part of it, so we'll see you on the other side. All right, we're back. We're going to take you through the stability ball workout, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. I'll cue you through all of it. In the 15 seconds, I'll tell you what's coming up next. But here we go. So you can do the squats with or without weights. You don't have to. If you're a beginner, you really definitely don't have to do that at all. I'm gonna grab some. If you do have them, they can just stay by your sides. Whoops, I'm still going here. Sorry, fixing my timer, maybe. All right, here we go. Coming down into that imaginary chair, pushing up through your heels. Inhale down, exhale up. Abs stayed nice and tight. On this one, the slower you go, the harder it is. So it just depends on where you're, what level you're at and how hard you want to work. If you want to work more cardio, strength training, then you're going to go a little bit faster. If you want to work pure strength, you definitely slow it down. Breathe, 10 seconds. And stop. Good. The next one we're going to do is a lunge. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Ball is in the small of your back. Just make sure that your knees are coming down to 90 degrees. And here we go. 45 seconds. Again, it doesn't matter if your heel or your foot touches the wall back behind. What matters is your form. So as long as that front knee is staying over your heel, I was just thinking, these are hard. I should have dropped the weights. And there is no shame in dropping the weights. First priority is nice, good form. Three, two, one. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Might want to drive those knees up before you do the other side. The second side is always harder. Big deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. You have to even it out. Really important to breathe, so hopefully you can hear us breathing. You never want to hold your breath. "15 seconds, hang on, abs nice and tight. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Shake it. The next one's your plie squat. That's nice and wide. Again, you may or may not use dumbbells. If you do use dumbbells, they can basically just sit right at that spot in your hips. Here we go. Down. Squeeze those glutes. Good, and again, don't let those knees come straight up. Make them stop directly over your heels. "15 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Shake those legs out. Shoulder presses next. Do you want to do it seated or standing?
I'll set you stand.
Okay. Courtney's going to sit and do her shoulder presses. I'll use the ball against the wall as a support for my back. Here we go. 45 seconds. So again, stop those elbows at 90 degrees if you can. Save your shoulder from injury. If it's too much weight, definitely go down. 45 seconds can get long. Abs nice and tight no matter where you are, back flat, knees soft, breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. The next one's the row. So feet against the wall if you have a slippery floor. Abdomen on the ball, but your abdomen is engaged and tight. Weights start on the floor. You're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together, leading with your elbows. Here we go. Now, if you have a hard time balancing, put your feet a little wider. What?
That's the tricky part.
Yeah, balancing. Now, if the row, if your elbows are close to your body, if that's easy, you can definitely do a fly. But none of this should feel real easy. This one is not an easy exercise. 10 seconds, hang on. Three, 2, 1. Good. We're going to flip over and do the chest press from here as well. So you sit on the ball, roll yourself out a little bit. If you have any neck issues, use the ball as a support for your head. Here we go. Take it down and up, down out to 90 degrees and up again. If you have a lighter weight, you may come out into a fly. I'll come up and show you that from here. So you can press this way or take it out and fly. Or you can do a combination of those as well. Glutes stay nice and tight. 15 seconds, hang on. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why don't you stay there and you can do the skull crusher for triceps. I'll sit. You don't need to go yet though. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So you'll notice Courtney, the position she's in I love because she is using the ball as a support for her head. You will see some people not use that, and that's okay if they have a nice strong neck. I prefer to use the ball just to keep it safe. Your focus is triceps anyway, you really don't need to be working your neck. So she's in the perfect position. So again, you can use 1 or 2 weights in both positions. Inhale down in both, exhale up. Elbows stay nice and tight by the sides of your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Concentrated curl is next. So we'll sit. I'll have Courtney do the concentrated curl. I'll do both at the same time. 2, 1, go. So if you're doing both, elbows stay nice and tight to your sides. If you're doing the concentrated curl, your elbow is on that inner thigh and it stays there glued to it so that all you work is biceps. Abs are tight, back is flat. "15 seconds. So if you're doing both, you get to do this double. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out a little bit. Big deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, here we go. Pull it up and then down. Make sure that on the way down you don't let the weights drop. Control it the whole time. You'll see that I have been turning my hands toward my legs or the ball, and you can do that. You can also just keep them facing forward, keeping your palms facing out, pulling up and dropping down. Ten seconds. Two and one. Good. We'll move into a push-up. We're done with the dumbbells. I'll do mine this way if you want to go that way. So kneel behind.
45 seconds of push-ups.
45 seconds of push-ups. Here we go. So I'm in the beginner position, Courtney's in advanced. In both positions, our glutes are tight, our legs are squeezing together, and our hands are nice and wide. As you progress, you start to walk yourself out. So the ball just continues to move down those legs. And just because of camera angle, I'm just moving this way so you can see where you go with it. Abs nice and tight. You never should feel any pressure on that lower back. Inhale down, exhale up. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, glutes and hamstrings are next. Here you go. Perfect. Lying supine on the mat. So on your back, heels up on top of the ball. Beginners, keep your butt down. Advanced, drive it up. And then heels in and out. Heels in and out. So progressions from here. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you start down. And then you start to bring it up. Hands will be out. Still, when you're bringing your butt up. And then eventually your hands come in by your sides. And then what Courtney was doing is she had them on her, which is great. The next progression would be to cross them over, cross them over your shoulders really hard, right? 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, because the ball wants to go everywhere.
Yes, the ball wants to go literally everywhere. All right, so I'm going to flip around. We're going to do abs. So the ball comes in between your feet or in your hands, and we transfer. So on this one, make sure that your back stays on the mat. And if it doesn't, at the bottom, don't go all the way down. So let's say, for example, my back starts to come off here. I stop here and I pull it back up. Okay, same thing with the top. So I would stop, and if I felt it coming off here with my hands, I would stop there. Okay, and then eventually you progress all the way down. 10 seconds, breathe. Inhale back, exhale up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. One left. Abdominal crunch. So you're going to sit on the ball. Bring your body parallel to the floor. If you're a beginner, your butt's going to come down a little bit. And you'll go from here, right? As you progress, you're definitely parallel to the ground. Here we go. So I'll show you beginner, up, and down. Again, it's not a huge movement, and you're still trying to lessen the gap between your rib cage and your pelvic bone, but you're not swinging here. This is not my abdominal crunch. I want control. I want to look at about a 45-degree angle. Good, and then as you progress back, you're lifting and releasing, squeezing. If you don't feel it, make sure that you're tilting that pelvis up. One more. Good. Walk yourself back up. That's your workout. Again, you can go through this 2 or 3 times, and hopefully you liked it.